So Cyborg went through a transformation at the end of last season. You know, we are more man than machine now. So how is that for him going forward?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's great for him to be able to try and work out exactly who he is, you know, and that's the journey we're going on this season with Vic, trying to work out, okay, you know, now I've actually got the opportunity to make a decision for myself as to who I am, and so he's, you know, lost the cybernetics and just trying to work out what it means to be a human being and a black man in Detroit. And so yeah, man, it's been a blast trying to discover that and work that out.
And how does that impact his role on the team now that he doesn't have superpowers?
Oh, immensely, because yeah, you know, he's now lost what is his, what gives him his power, you know, and we really do see that in season 4, where he's just not the same guy that he usually is. He's losing a bit of respect as well from the rest of the team, and he's having to use a bit more of his noodle than anything else because he doesn't have the brawns in order to be able to fight his way through, so he's having to use the brain. But yeah, it's encouraging him, you know, coming to terms with how he becomes a superhero within himself and realizing that, you know, it's not the cybernetics that makes him a hero, but just his mentality and wanting to do good and wanting to protect himself.
What would you say you're really just most excited for fans to see now that season 3 was such an amazing journey for Vic, and as we enter this 4th season, what are you most excited for the fans to see, and what journey will he be going on this season?
Yeah, I'm excited for them to see the evolution, really. I think, you know, end of season 3 was Vic deciding that he doesn't want to be Cyborg anymore and he wants to take a new turn and discover that, and we get to, as an audience, go with Vic on that journey. We get to see him, you know, go and connect with himself, with, you know, some of his old friends, with Detroit again, and find himself within all of that and see that as Vic is making that discovery of where he really wants to end up and who he really wants to be after now experiencing both sides, we get to live that journey with Vic and see exactly, you know, where he ends up.
Are you enjoying less time having to do hair and makeup now?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure, yeah. No, it's been fun, and also being able to act with 2 eyes underneath the prosthetic. I can't see through the mask, and it kind of messes up depth perception. So it's nice, especially when there's combat, to be able to see what I'm doing and yeah, not need a double for things that I would be able to do with 2 eyes. So yeah, that's been really fun.
Has it created a challenge just as an actor, like peeling that back, and it's the same character, but we've removed that cyborg element, so that when he goes into some of these scenes where he'd be approaching it one way, he's now, like you mentioned, has to go in from a different direction because he doesn't have all these extra abilities. Yeah,
I think even down to just like physicality, because he's no longer has the cybernetics from the outside. He's a lot more free in his movement, and also he has. It's great because he has an opportunity of really just experiencing life without being connected to his cybernetics and grid. You know, grid is such a big deal for Vic. It's literally himself. You know, it's like the voice that you talk to in your head. That's grid for Vic. And without that, he's now having to find new ways of doing things. We see him go on a journey where his second nature is to go and call for grid, and he realizes, oh shit, grid's not here anymore. All right, cool. How am I going to work this out? What are we going to do? So yeah, it's a great journey for him, and a lot of different things that we're going to be experiencing on that journey, on that ride.
Do you find as a performer it's allowing you to play different colors or different aspects of the character than you've gotten to before?
For sure, like, yeah, I think, you know, you find, first of all, when I first even just saw, like, there's a poster that I just saw for the first time, and it's the whole Doom Patrol with, obviously, Vic, and he hasn't got the cybernetic on, and it looks weird to me, you know, it's like, it looks a bit freaky, and getting used to that, and I think even for some of my castmates, but him, you know, coming to terms with, one thing I did do is I really tried to lean into the human side of Cyborg. You know, there's been different iterations of the character, but one thing that I was really passionate about was him being human first, and so hopefully that kind of comes through in the version of him even being Cyborg, that you feel Vic Stone. So a lot of the time, you know, we don't feel like a huge difference with, you know, Vic Stone versus Cyborg, because I tried to really put Vic Stone at the forefront, but at the same time, without the cybernetic, it's just more connecting on a human level, you know. So you definitely will see and feel that shift. But I've tried to create the character in a way that the human comes before the cybernetic versus some other iterations of the character that we've seen in the past.
Whenever you run into Ryan Potter, is there ever a conversation just between the two of you that's like, we gotta figure out a way to bring Beast Boy and Cyborg together?
Always, since season one. Like that's been the thing. Like, you know, when I first landed, Vic, Ryan reached out to me straight away, and it was because it was like, okay, you know, like hopefully we're gonna get to do this thing, and then like you're 4 years in and it hasn't happened, and it's like, okay, well, you know, what's happening? But I know, like, I'm a fan too. You know, it's not just okay, I'm the guy playing the character. I also want to see these guys come together. I also want to see the Teen Titans in its full glory, and it's something that we've been rooting for since the start. And yeah, we just have to, you know, continue our camaraderie and our genuine friendship outside of the worlds of Doom Patrol and Teen Titans, because we haven't had that opportunity. But God willing, man, God willing.
We're waiting on it.
Me too, bro. Me too.
Well, just in wrapping, we would be remiss not to mention Vic's complicated relationship with his father. What's ahead now that he's gone through this transformation, and, you know, what can we expect from that dynamic this season?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's an interesting one because we really get an opportunity for some healing to take place and self-love, and a part of that for Vic is really trying to connect with his father. And I feel like, you know, end of season 3, that was the real kind of burden, with him really confronting his dad and giving it to him exactly how he feels and saying everything, laying it all on the table. And now having the opportunity for him to be given what he wants, it creates that bridge and creates more of a common ground between the two of them. And we get to explore that and see, you know, that version of that relationship between the season, which is really nice and it's really fun. As well as all of the glory that we're going to get to visit with him just being Vic Stone. Forget the Cyborg, just Vic Stone. And yeah, it's different, but you're gonna love it. It's cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.